I'm Lou Scott, and this is the Geppetto Room, where you don't have to be creative to be creative. You just have to be you, because here we're going to spend time talking about methodologies, techniques that make it better for you to make better decisions, transformative decisions, the kind of decisions that will make it easier for you to enrich the way you live, the way you work, and the way you play. Now this week I'm going to talk about how we can attract young people to our state. I have a lot of ideas. I created a plan. The state is doing a lot. I believe it's a little fragmented, but I'm going to talk about how we can attract young people that we desperately need to continue on the way we're living in our state now. I said this before, but let me say it again. Why do we need young people? First of all, we're old. More people die here than live here. More people are leaving than living here. We're at 65 years plus is increasing, while the 25 to 49 or so is decreasing. It's a bad demographic problem. We have to improve. We have to get millennials here. We have to get young people here. And I think I have a plan to help. Now, I said this before. Let me repeat it again. Why do we need young people? Okay, here's a couple of reasons. There's all kinds of reasons. First of all, young people are consumers. They buy a lot of things that we don't buy at our age. They buy clothing. They buy clothing for themselves. They buy household goods. They buy lawn equipment. They buy things that we already had. It's a consumer. So as a consumer, they create business. Without them, the businesses that stay or survive have to charge more. So that's going to increase. Our services, if we don't have young people, the services have nobody to sell to. Therefore, the people that they do sell to will be higher priced. We don't have a labor pool. Without a labor pool, young people, you're not going to get businesses to come into the state, which we need. They won't come. And certainly not the younger people will come if there's no business here. Housing will increase. Housing prices will increase. There's no ratables. Everything will get dearer. Everything will get more expensive because we don't have young people here. That's some of the reasons, economic reasons. And those reasons, if we don't correct them, we're going to have some very dire economic futures, which I talked about many times and which still exists. Now, our demographic problem is an emergency, and we all have to get involved with it. The state has to get involved with it. The state has been doing many things, many initiatives. However, I think those initiatives have been fragmented. They're too partial. They're not focused. I have a 10-point program that I'd like to share with you and have you grasp it. And if you are influencers, you got to participate, but if you're influencers, talk about it. We all have to begin to be advocates of our state. We have to get people to come here and be advocates. Not only the state has to do it, but we have to do it. I think I have a plan. Now, here's what I think has to be done. It's a plan. Here's how I think it has to be done. There are 10 points, I believe. Number one, the state has to declare the demographic problem is an emergency. It is. It's an emergency. It's a foundational problem for all our other problems. If we can solve this, we can solve a lot of our other social problems, a lot of our economic problems. We have to solve this. To do it, we have to eliminate a lot of hassle, barriers, political barriers. When you declare something as an emergency, like we did in Irene, all the resources came to combat the damage of Irene came together. We crossed departments, we eliminated political barriers, we eliminated discussions, we got the job done. That's what the state has to do. It has to say this is an emergency, and we all have to act like it is an emergency because it really is. It really is. That's number one. Number two, the state has a lot of people going around to all the towns, helping them use the federal money to improve their downtowns, to improve their landscape, to do all kinds of projects in the town. They have these teams that help the towns. What I'm suggesting is that these teams be trained in two things. One, the feeling and the necessity and the initiative that this is an emergency. And they have to convey that to the towns. So the towns act appropriately. They also have to learn They have to be trained to learn to think transformatively. We cannot continue to solve new problems with old ideas, what we do. We can't be ordinary. We can't be common. We have to be remarkable. We have to be transformative. So if we train these people who are training and helping the towns, all of a sudden the towns will begin to reflect the transformative thinking projects that are necessary to bring young people here. We have to reflect that. That's number two. Number three, the state, I believe, has to have an advertising campaign. A campaign that tells us how we're doing, what we should be doing, why it's important. When you have such an internal advertising campaign to the public, to citizens of Vermont, what we do is we keep ourselves focused. We bring all the commonality. We come together. We come together as a team like an emergency. When you do that, just itself, the psychology of everybody thinking one way and being reminded by this campaign that it's important, it'll be important. We'll get better effect. We'll execute more energy. What we do will be more effective, and that's what we have to do. We have to be more effective to present ourselves appropriately to the young people we need, the millennials. We have to reflect their needs, their new dream, of their new American dream, and they have one. And that's what we have to do. And that campaign will help us all to keep focus. Number three, every time we do a project, we do lots of projects in our state. We do development, we do housing, we do flowers, we do downtown areas. They should be transformative. They should not be old ideas. And how we're going to get that is when they submit their proposals to the towns, to the government, to the state, whatever the case might be, there should be a mandate that says part of this project, whatever it is, I don't care what it is, as simple as a door, as a dog park, it has to be transformative. It has to be remarkable. It has to be designed, contemporary designed. It has to be important. The mandate says part of your project has to be transformative, if not all of it. If we do that, what will happen? We'll wake up one morning, we have all these projects being done all over the state, and with a transformative viewpoint. If we do, we'll look at the state and we'll see it changing. So will the young people. So will the businesses that we need here. We'll say, look at what Vermont is doing, and everything it's doing, everything it's thinking. It has a focus. So all the projects should be mandated to be transformative. No old ideas. It has to be remarkable ideas. The meaning of remarkable is it's attention getting, and that's what we need. We have to be creative, we have to be artistic, and we have to be attention getting. Common and ordinary, and what we did before is not going to bring people here, and we need young people here. So, we have to start thinking about several aspects that have to be done to attract young people. One is we have to be thinking about low-cost housing, but not housing. We have to think about communities, millennial communities, youthful communities that are contemporary, that are attractive, that have amenities in that community, in that housing project, that will attract people, will be responsive to the younger people. We can't continue we build houses that look like barracks. We have to have community. It has to be designed. It has to be beautiful. It has to be remarkable. And these communities, so we have to have low-cost communities. It's too high now. We cannot do it. We have to start seriously making policies to create low-cost housing. We also have to design daycare centers that are not inexpensive. These young people come with children. They can't afford, both of them work, they can't afford the high cost of daycare. We have to improve the daycare, we have to be state-of-the-art daycare, and we have to be able to lower the costs of this daycare. Otherwise, we're not going to get there. There's two important aspects. The housing and their daycare needs have to be addressed, and that's part of this program. We have to address it quickly, or completely, not fragmented ways. I think, obviously, to attract young people, we have to have a monetary package, an incentive, a financial package that comes with it. Not this $10,000 that we give to work remote. No, I don't believe in that. I have some examples. There are many examples. For example, let's do something with their educational burden. Let's see if we can relieve their educational burden. Young millennials come with a very high educational burden loans. Let's help that. Maybe we can help that. In that same vein, maybe what we could do is have scholarships for their kids as kids get older. Yeah, we have the means to do that, have to go to school. That's one of the financial benefits I see we can help them. Something that's on their mind, and we're going to help them. And when we do that, we're reflecting what's really troubling, what's problematic to them. And that's what we have to do. Reflect what these young people need. If we don't reflect what these young people need, we'll just continue to get older. And we have problems. I think we have to have more aggressiveness in our visitation programming. I know Vermont, Rutland, has a concierge program that works well. We get people in, we entertain them, we show them around, we impress them with all the features and benefits living in the state. But I don't think it's aggressive enough. The state has to do more. For example, why don't we put together a kit of incentives, discounts, information, that we take that kit and we give it to college bookstores to be given away to people. So when people come here, it doesn't cost as much. They can come here on their own. They have this incentive package, which we got from Vermont, and it takes them around for less money to visit and see what the benefits we have, the beautiful country that we have, the policies that we have, the reasons why they should come and live and work and be a part of Vermont lifestyle. We have to be more aggressive in that area. And that's just one idea. I gave you the kit, but I think we have to be much more than just what I see happening in the fact. We have to be more unified in its visitations. The state needs a full campaign, advertising, communication campaign to get people to come here. Everybody's doing their own. We're the real Vermont, and Kelly's in something else, and the town is something else. We don't have a theme. We don't have a psychographic reason to be here. We need a theme. Vermont has to come up with that theme, what the needs are, and put it out there in all forms of media. We don't have that. Our theme is very fragmented. It's coming. We don't have one issue. Like I asked one time people, what is the meaning of Vermont? There was no answer. We have to have a meaning. We have to stop talking about endlessly about the hiking and the beauty. We need more reasons than that to come here, because hiking and beauty, what we have, other states that are competing for the same people have the same thing. We have to be unique. We have to get into their mindset. What do they really need? And that campaign has to have those kind of benefits. Right now it doesn't have. We need a bigger ad budget. We don't spend enough. It's so important that it should be right up there with all the best. The most important budgets that we have should be communication to get young people to come here. We're not spending enough in comparison to other states, and we're in a war. We're in a competition with other states to bring young people, because everybody has the same problem. They're getting older. The world is getting older. We need young people, and so it's worth the money that we spend to bring them here. We need more advertising budget. That's part of the program. Now, what are the advantages of a plan like this? Well, there are many. First of all, you're going to have greater resources, more minds thinking about how we can bring together, more focus. That's going to use our resources more effectively. We're going to have more effective messages. We're going to be training ourselves to be more transformative. That's what we have to be. Not common, not ordinary, not what we have to do done before. We can't. We have to be transformed. We have to reflect that in everything we do. Policies, projects, everything we do. That Vermont is reflecting what is important to the new generation, to what I call the millennial, or any younger generation. We need them, and we have to reflect what they need. If we don't, they'll go right by us, right by us. The focus will bring more people and greater emphasis to the important things that we have to do. The projects will be better, our thinking will be better, That's what we achieve. And I think, and when we do that in a very short time, we will start to see an increase in the people coming here, young people coming here, to live, to work, to contribute. Don't forget, this demographic problem we knew about 20 years ago. We knew about it when our own research showed us that one of our weaknesses was our demographics. Now, we've done a lot of things during that time, but they haven't been effective. We're still losing people. Our young people are leaving. No people coming in. Young people are not coming in. So it's not working. So what's the sense of repeating that? That's not experience. That's nonsense. It's insanity. We have to change what we're doing, and we have to focus what we're doing. And these ideas that I just gave you in a plan, I think will help. I'm hoping that you pick up on that. If you are an influencer, then influence. If you're voting on something, vote for transformation. Vote for the emergency factor that this is important for us. The most important thing we have to do. The most important problem we have to solve. Because it is. So, lastly, believe it's an emergency. Believe that when we bring new people in, it's necessary. It's not going to change the traditional way we work, the way we live. No. It's not going to give us an added burden. We need the immigration. We need the people. We need their ideas. We need their consumption. We need their businesses. It's an emergency, and we have to reflect that. This program, I'm hoping, will reflect that. It's a 10-point program, even if they take pieces of it. What we need is focus, and identification that this is a problem that's an emergency. With that, I'm Lou Scott, and this is the Geppetto Room. We don't have to be creative to be creative. You just have to be you. Until next time, thank you very much.